Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are having a good day so far. And as we continue RWBY Week, our next character of discussion for a character discussion topic is none other than Velvet. So, this is the first Faunus on our list, so let's go ahead and jump into the character of Velvet. So now, as we remember, Velvet first appeared in Volume 1, which she appeared in the episode Jaundice. And, you know, Velvet has actually had a pretty good following. A lot of people have actually liked her character since her incision, and well, felt bad for her in the beginning. But don't ever underestimate this girl, because this girl is definitely something else. I gotta say, definitely something else. We'll get into that into a moment. But I gotta say, never count her out, because Velvet is definitely someone you wouldn't want to mess with. She is actually a very strong individual, despite how she may look. And, like I said, Faunus may have been kicked around, but and people felt bad for her. But hey, you know what? It's all right because this girl right here, she's gonna show you she didn't take crap. So now, as we discuss, Velvet here, I wanted to talk about this. So first off, as we know, Velvet is actually, kind of more of a very shy, quiet person who tends to herself. Now, whether that may be because she is a faunus and she gets made fun of, or it's just the fact of who her personality, about her personality or who she is. She may just be a loner, maybe her own kind of person. But, the thing is she actually does seem very concerned, especially at the moment whenever Blake, had her incident in the, festival, and yeah, they thought she cheated. Now, interesting fact about her is, well, she's a part of one of the most badass teams, which is known as Team Coffee, and their leader is Coco, which she is actually a pretty amazing member herself, which seems to have a good friendship with her allies as well as Velvet. And like I said, Velvet does not take crap because clearly she's on a really amazing team and it shows for it. Now, the thing is about her, when we first saw her, she was actually being made fun of by Cardin, aka number one douche. Okay, well maybe not number one, but he was a douche. Let's be real, he was a jerk, terrible individual. The people bullied them, very unfairly, and this doesn't help Velvet in the case that she was, well, a faunus, and faunus were obviously mistreated, and sadly enough, this is the scene that we all felt bad for, because I know whenever she was being made fun of in that scene, I felt bad. I, really felt bad for her. But, she actually seems to act very reserved as a character. And she does refuse to fight back, though. I mean, if push comes to shove, whenever it comes to, villainy or evil, around like Grimm, for example, yeah, she's gonna fight back. But she is a very timid individual. It's kind of like how a rabbit works. A rabbit is actually a very timid creature. If you run towards a rabbit, it's going to run away, which goes upon her characteristics, as a faunus, because she is a rabbit faunus, which actually, makes a lot of sense for her, as a character. And so it actually works well with Velvet. And, I think that actually is kind of like an adorable little cute factor to her character that it makes her like that. Because she's a rabbit, kind of refuses to fight, runs off, tries to protect themselves. That's how rabbits are. But, as we saw in Volume 3, now, the thing that was very crazy about this was when the White Fang were attacking, whenever all the Mayhem Cinder Cause started happening, we saw Velvet stand up. She got permission from Coco to, actually use her weapon. Which, interestingly enough, her weapon's very unique and very different from other weapons. Now, her weapon is actually the camera she holds. You see, we see her taking pictures, during the festival, for example, and at other times, and she actually takes pictures of weapons. She seems to have, definite fascination with weapons and, to be honest, photography, because, typically photography falls upon those sort of things. But it's very interesting because this is a unique choice for a weapon, I have to say, because typically you would think somebody would have a sword or something else. You wouldn't see somebody just flashing around a camera, but it actually works. And honestly, say if Velvet went on a spy mission, I don't know why, but if she did go on a spy mission, which actually she could, that makes sense actually. Honestly, she could actually just take pictures and be like, hey, this happened, as long as she turned her flash off. Don't want the flash on during that moment. You would then be in a lot of trouble. Then that little bunny's going to be running. But the thing is that's really cool. Now let's go down into her semblance. Now her semblance. Now this is what's actually very interesting. It's known as mimicry, and it is allowed to, or well, what this does is this ability allows her to mimic the exact moves that other people have learned and used in combat to a degree. Now, however, this does not allow her semblance to capture or allow her to use the semblance of other individuals. But as we did see, which they did have a little, showcasing, which was like a, a nod off, which I like what Rooster Teeth did here. They did a very interesting thing with the scene when Velvet started, copying the other weapons. Very interesting thing. They had a very big nod to the trailers. Red, white, yellow, and or red, white, black, and yellow. And the funny thing was that as you see, she actually does the poses within those trailers of each of the characters that were in them. So it was actually very interesting to see. Now, of course, we also had a couple of nods off to characters such as also like Nora and Penny, because she did copy the weapons of, for example, Team Ruby and these other characters, and it was actually very interesting to see Velvet just use this ability here. Now, of course, this actually really benefits her because photography, mimicry, it's an art, and basically her semblance in a sense is an art style, and it really suits the camera role because she can just mimic what she sees, and basically, in a sense, if you think about it, I mean, you could already tell by now. I mean, if you couldn't, well, you now know. She's basically like an artist, essentially, which is actually a really cool thing about Velvet. And I have to say, that was a really interesting feature that, Rooster Teeth really came up with for Velvet, was making her kind of the artsy type of character. Very, timid, very, reserved, but also strong. She was actually pretty strong as a character, and it was actually really, really cool to see. And kind of an interesting factor, according to what Monty Ohm had stated about Velvet, he actually stated that she was adept. She was an extremely adept mage with skills that are highly valued by her teammates. So Team Coffee sees this as a pretty big thing, obviously, and so they respect her highly, which is actually really interesting to think about. And I have to say that for somebody to have like, because Monty said that she said to also have like significant amounts of experience in working with her team on the battlefield. That's actually really good because you want team composition, obviously. But Velvet is a wonderful character. Honestly, she's very interesting and a pretty cutesy character. And I have to say, one factor here is if you want to know an interesting one, shipping between Velvet and Ruby is called Red Velvet. Get it? Like the cake. Yucky yucka. No, but anyways, it's actually really interesting, and people come up with creative ideas, and if you ship it, that's great. Go for it. Ship whatever you want to ship. That's what I always say. But I have to say, as a character, it was very interesting for us to have someone like Velvet, and to see her in the future, I think will be a really cool thing. I can't wait to see her after this time skip we've had. See what her and the rest of her team's been up to. I really hope that there was rumors flying around that she may be in Volume 5. I don't know that 100%, but speculated she might be. And if so, that would be awesome to actually see how much has happened with her and her team ever since the fall of Beacon. But it'd be great to see. But you all take care of yourselves, have yourself a great day, and continue to stick around for more RWBY Week because we got more videos out here for you, and I am excited to say it's going to be great. So get ready because I think we're going to have a good time with what I've got in store for you guys for more RWBY Week. So you all take care and have a good day.